Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, we're going to talk about the unpolished legendary SoulStone here. I got mine and we're blasting through the rest of this event. I was a slacker with the raids, but who am I going to use it on? And what about the other ones I already had? Alright, so when it comes to awakenings, it's very important that we use this resource wisely. So let me head on into my bag here. I have a couple of each actually. We have the legendary hero SoulStone and the unpolished legendary hero SoulStone. I actually have a few because I reset one of my heroes when I was able to get other copies of them. So this gave me a few back. I think I reset when I had 2 or 3 to get back, or I had gotten I think 2, and then I had gotten 1 from like the guild boss within the last month or so. Here, I don't even know. I think this was from resetting my Ingrid. Yeah. But either way, these are for lords and the unnamables only. Never use one of these on lords and unnamables because this is specifically where you want to save these for, because these cannot be used on lower tier heroes, but these ones can. Now, lower tier heroes, there's so much to talk about with that, because you shouldn't use an unpolished legendary soulstone on anyone that you can be pulled from these normal banners, right? Like the normal invocation of spirits, who's on the banner? None of these people should get a soul stone because they are a very precious resource. There's definitely a couple that you could argue, well, like nature is so amazing, I don't want to wait. And people might not judge it too harshly, but it's not the best idea. You want to save it for the heroes that are very hard to get. Now, actually, in this game, you'd have to say the hardest to get heroes would be more so these ancient exclusive heroes. The ones that are part of this pool here, but you cannot get elsewhere. Like a Valara. Like our new fan favorite, Sergei. These are things to consider. Now, there's a lot of other good heroes throughout here you'd say are so fun, like Ardea, or Lubu, or Sithra, or hell, I love Khadgrim, Erlang Shen, but they're not quite soulstone worthy, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But Valara, she does not come on banners very often, right? They've only rerun her banner like 1 other time or something. She's only been on like a banner twice, right? At most 3 times ever, I think. And she's so OP and so good that I would argue she's #1 pick for who should get your soulstones if you have her. Because the reality is, when it comes to the limited summoning banners in that pool of heroes, you actually get a chance to get the ones you want through the pick your own limited events. So there's one other category we have to talk about, which I'm actually going to talk about first because I think he is on that list, and that is Count Dracula. So the other factor into this consideration for soulstones is the collab heroes. We had Dracula as a collab hero. We had Van Helsing. We had Lady Mina. These are people that potentially may never return to the game ever again. Or if they do, I think it would only make sense to do it with something like, oh, I don't know, a Halloween event, the Dracula collab reruns. But you're not going to see them very often and maybe never again. So because of that, I think when it comes down to the top picks in the game, Count Dracula is at least in the top 3 considerations because he's incredible, especially for PvP, but you can definitely use him in a lot of areas. But he's so, so good. And we're talking that Awaken 3, adding the huge defense reduction is so awesome that I think this is a, you know, Awaken 1, Awaken 3, damage increase by the 30%, for doubling the damage there from Soul Rot. that is the consideration. Now, personally, I don't like taking him to Awaken 5 because if the event ever came back and they did the exact same thing, I would personally feel a bit guilty, and I think you could stop here at Awaken 3. I'd rather, you know, if it ever comes back, I can live with Awaken 3, but I don't, you know, I don't necessarily think we need Awaken 5 to use him wisely, but Awaken 1, Awaken 3, abso-freaking-lutely, he is in the top tier. Now, the other considerations for the top tier are definitely Kigiri, Dao Chen, Sun Wukong, all those heroes that we love so much, right? But I still think number one is Dao Chen because getting that one extended range is massive, and she's so versatile in all the content to be an inspiration hero or a damage mitigation hero, or well, really both, right? So she is fantastic, and absolutely anyone who doesn't have an Awaken 1 Dao Chen, you need an Awaken 1 Dao Chen, so you should probably always save a SoulStone for her, even if you don't have her, just in case they do a pick your own event or her banner comes back, you would pick her. Job done. All right, so I think Dao Chen, Dracula, and Kigiri at the high levels are a priority. But I would also still strongly consider Sun Wukong in that conversation. Definitely a top 3 to 4 debate there. Kigiri has the higher potential at Awaken 3 and Awaken 5, but only at Awaken 3 and Awaken 5. You wouldn't just Awaken 1 a Kigiri, it's just not, or Awaken 2 a Kigiri. You're not going to feel any impact there. If anything, you would just want to save to get the Awaken 3 and then the Awaken 5. Then he's going to blast past Sun Wukong, Awaken 5, and many others for damage. But I think Sun Wukong has a bit more utility out of him for other types of content overall and is a bit more versatile. And he's also great to just get an Awaken 1 or Awaken 3 or Awaken 5, all the things, but a little less needed to like use with only at least Awaken 3 like Kigiri is. So those ones are still up for debate as far as, I think, priority there. And it's such a hard conversation because Sun Wukong, I think, is more versatile, but he has a higher potential. Moradin Awaken 3 is really, really strong as well. This is really cool, and he's someone that I have personally failed to utilize as well, but I think I would if I got more awakenings on him. So he's probably my next priority when we get a pick your own banner. And as mentioned again, Sergei, I think Awaken 1, Awaken 3s are pretty strong on him. Yeah, he seems so much fun. I don't have him either because the universe hates me to get the most OP heroes in the game, including Valara, who I don't have as well. Valara deserves all the things. She's the queen of the game right now. And a lot of us, if you get lucky and you pull her, you're not probably going to pull many copies. So there is that. That's my spiel, and those are the main characters that come to my mind. But before I actually do my SoulStones on who I need to awaken, I do want to give a shout here. I really love Fastidious's video that he did for a tier list with the best choices. The way he divided things up between top choice, good choices, niche choices, against my advice, but if you do it, we won't judge you too harshly. Do not choose. And then a special warning for the last part. I like how he did that as well, because that is just something to think about with the idea. Let's see, can I get to where he shows the very bottom? Maybe not. Oh yeah, right here. Notable heroes not to choose, as in, you're probably thinking, but what about these ones, right? And he's just like, no, don't do it. So this is a really cool way he broke it down. And I think I agree with everything he ends up picking, except my debatable is, I had more fun personally, and I think a lot of people would get more out of throwing one to 3 SoulStones in Sun Wukong before Kigiri. But if you can get Kigiri to Awaken 3 instead of a Sun Wukong, just Awaken 3, you'd want to do that instead. Hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to be confusing, but I'm just sharing my thoughts here along the way. But I really like his video, and I think people should actually give it a full listen. At least jump to the parts where he talks about the heroes in that bracket that you're considering, or if you see him put someone on the list that you don't quite agree with or you want to hear what he has to say, at least jump to where he puts that hero and hear why. It really does make sense. And also listen to the first part of his video where he explains how he kind of does his divisions. Okay. We talked about who's good for some soul stones, and there's definitely a few more in there. But what does my account need? So I already have the painter might be if I was playing with the painter, I would consider him, but he's a little quirky and I haven't really utilized him yet, so I'm not really stressing him right now. Dracula, I did get Awaken 1. So, considering the fact that I have multiple Awakenings soul stones, I think Awaken 3 is in order for my Dracula. And that is actually my plan for today. Now, I do have Van Helsing extra Awakenings too. This one is debatable. I really, really liked him. I think I might eventually awaken him. He's so much fun to use. But I don't think I would do that anytime soon now unless I'm just rolling in soul stones and have so many extra and have everybody I need maxed out, yada, yada, yada. You know, like, I feel like I want to make sure I at least save a soul stone to start awakening Valara if I ever pull her. So in my mind, I want to always have a 1 soul stone on hand to like awaken one of Valara at least to feel a little bit extra of boost and put some love into her, just in case I get lucky enough to pull her someday, maybe never. But that is why I don't think I would use all my soul stones either way. I could do 2 into him and 1 into him, but I'm not going to do it. I don't think Van Helsing is quite worth the awakening, and he's pretty fun without it. Now, Moradin, I have A0 again, so I would love an A3 Moradin, but I feel like I want to get him straight to A3. I don't know that I'm happy with just an Awaken 1, and I'm not using him as much as I'm using Dracula in hard endgame content, like Arena, trying to actually push here and there. So because I'm using Dracula more, I'm going to prioritize Dracula as well. And Moradin, again, a pick your own event could come back, or they could rerun his banner again, which is a very cool banner. That's when Valara came as well. Maybe they would rerun those banners together again. I don't know. But I would love to get Awaken 3, but I think that's not my priority at the moment. Although he's definitely my second one to come. So I really don't have any others that I have to personally consider. My Dao Chan is A5. Sun Wukong Kugiri are A5. I don't have Valara to debate about. And the really only other considerations would be newer heroes like her, but no. She's cool, but I'm not really concerned or even looking at her awakenings right now. I really, really think that it's finally time for me to make my Dracula better, more amazing than he already is. We're just gonna do the thing. I have 4 of... Oh, I do have 4 of these, though. Oh, the debate. Oh my gosh, look at them making sure you want to use it. This is brilliant. Confirm. An unpolished legendary soulstone. They're making sure you don't make a mistake. Like, you really want to use that. Do you really have to type confirm with a capital C? Oh my god. Capital C, they're really picky. They aren't messing around. But yeah, I'm gonna take Dracula to Awaken 3. I believe that was on Fastidious's list in the top sections as well. And I think it's the best option for my account because one of my biggest roadblocks is actually trying to get into Platinum 3 because it's just so hard to compete with all the Iovars and Lady Alexandras and Valaras in one end. It's hard to compete with the A1 plus Valderons and maxed out Draculas on another end. And then, oh gosh, the AoE... Yeah, Valara is in almost everything, isn't she? I feel like I'm missing these core pieces of things that allow me to really push deeper. Even though I've got decent heroes, my gear is far from endgame. Or at least far from ultra endgame. I'm just like a chillin' kind of player, so I would like to get into the higher stages. Of course, it just reset today. I haven't pushed here. But whew, like, this has been a challenge for me. I don't have Sithra to do the nice resets or the cooldown reductions with this team, which would be amazing. It's so funny to see that team. But yeah, this Sergei, I do have a Dracula in my team for this, but my god, these big ass Valderons, all the freaking Valaras, all the freaking Iovars and Lady Alexandras, I just can't push. Even when I take the time and try to go careful, do it manually, I'm just not quite there. And getting to Overlord feels impossible these days. And I think Dracula, getting a couple awakenings on him is certainly going to help. So that's what I did. Hope you guys enjoyed my chat and my thought process. And again, go check out Fastidious's video if you haven't already. It's a really great one. And I will see you in the next one.